Have you ever been told or felt like you could only be successful unless you followed this one strategy, or that you couldn't reach your goals until you did X, Y, or Z? It's time to do some deconditioning with beliefs that are no longer serving you. In this episode, we're going to dive into the toxicity of hustle culture and how to incorporate both masculine and feminine energies to work smarter, not harder, and to create more pleasure and freedom in your business. Because you became your own boss to create more freedom, not to be an employee of your own business. Let's dive in. I'm your host, Tiffany Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. Hello. I'm so excited about this episode because I feel like I am going to be calling out the toxic hustle culture that we see so often, unfortunately, on Instagram, as well as just in our lives with certain people, certain mindsets, certain lack and scarcity. There is a lot that comes around this hustle culture of working really, really, really hard and leaning a lot on the masculine, which is the do, all of that action, and being able to reframe it and approach your business and your life with matching it with more of the feminine, which is really how I've been able to attract success into my business and my life, and also being able to truly take care of myself and take a step back. So hustle culture is essentially promoting the fact that you need to work really, really hard and overwork yourself and kind of get into this place where you have to take all of this action. It's a lot of do, it's a lot of strategy, it's a lot of execution, it's a lot of implementation. And it's not that these things are toxic, right? Action is needed to grow your business. That's, the piece of manifestation that is, a really big part of it is you can sit there and really identify exactly what you want, why you want to have it. But it's that law that I talked about in the previous episode in the 12 laws of the universe. It's the law of inspired action. And the reason I include inspired and not just action is we can't just take action. Similarly to how we cannot just sit back and tap into our intuition and be in flow. There has to be a marriage, if you will, with both the masculine and the feminine in order to attract your greatest desires. This goes back to episode 1. If you haven't listened to it, please do. It's a really good one where we're talking about align, act, and actualizing, right? We have to be able to act, and that action has to take place from a space that is in 100% alignment. And that's how you're able to manifest your desires into reality, right? You can have $1 million idea, but you do have to take action, but it has to be the right type of action. So what I'm calling out here is the idea that you have to work yourself to death and work hours upon hours upon hours and be up at 2 or 3 a.m. at night and working yourself to a point of losing sleep consistently, not taking care of your body, not taking care of your mind, not having time for self-care and loving yourself, and being able to set boundaries around work. Because also, if you're constantly overworking yourself based on beliefs such as, maybe you saw your dad or your mom working extremely hard and then they became really successful, you think the only way to do so is to not spend time with your children and continue working and being in your laptop all day, every day, which hits home for me because I was raised by two immigrant parents, which if you have immigrant parents who were working really hard, say like 20, 30 years ago, that is what they had to do in order to survive, right? So a lot of us have a different environment and a different space in order for us to tap into what we want to do. So a lot of things have changed, but a lot of our parents and the previous generation don't see it that way because they had to hustle and work really, really hard to get to where they were at, especially if they're immigrants coming into a brand new country and maybe not knowing the language or not knowing exactly what they want to do. And so really climbing up that ladder and seeing my dad become so successful and now being partner at his company, but also seeing him work really hard, and I love him for it. But it also taught me that, oh my goodness, I have to work extremely hard. I have to do all of these things and maybe not be able to spend as much time with my daughter or not as much time for self-care in order to be successful. So breaking down your beliefs around business and around attracting money is going to be step one here. Because if we just change our behaviors and we just change our results based on pure willpower, that can only take us so far. But if we reframe our subconscious processing to believe and embody and take on the identity and the spirit of somebody that truly believes that working less and working smarter, not harder, is going to be the catalyst to their massive success, that is going to change your behavior, your actions, everything surrounding what you do for your business. So that's what we're talking about today, is those masculine and feminine energies and strategies in order to grow a successful business and be able to really maximize your time and not spend so much time doing just busy work that makes you feel like you're productive, but isn't actually productive. So when I went into business, I kind of had this naivety, if you will, and kind of surrounded myself in this bubble where I tapped into a lot of mindset and personal development and really reframing my mindset because I was working 10, 11, 12 hours, working into the night, not seeing my friends, not spending as much time with my daughter, and then giving myself vertigo, literally getting up and feeling dizzy or not being able to stand still because I was stressing myself out to a point of just total pure exhaustion. And I had never seen my body react like that. And it was literally, I didn't even realize that it had come from working. I literally thought that there was something physically wrong with my body. It freaked me out until I was reading, I believe it was Rachel Hollis's Girl Wash Your Face, where she also experienced vertigo from overworking. And she went to go see I believe it was a holistic healer or a holistic doctor that told her, you need to go home and do nothing. And she was like, what? And that was me. I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. I naturally lean on my more masculine energy and masculine strategy because I feel like I need to constantly be taking action. I'm also a generator in human design, which means I have a lot of energy. Generators are those geniuses, creative geniuses, lots of ideas, lots of energy, lots of things swirling around in their minds. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I have the energy to do all the things. And I'm not kidding when I say all the things. And you might be similar. You might be able to relate to me in this sense. And so I looked back and I realized, okay, so I'm spending all of this time in my business, but what am I actually doing? What are the things that are actually moving the needle in my business? What is actually revenue generating activity that is actually going to be bringing in the dollar bills into my business and building connections with leads, nurturing my clients and making sure that they're getting attention and love from me, right? Those are all really important aspects of growing a business. And I realized a lot of my time was going into admin work and creating graphics and just all of these things I could have outsourced. But when I started my business and after I kind of worked through that and really looked into my mindset, because I was like, okay, I'm doing something that's not serving me. I'm holding on to beliefs that are no longer serving me. So from then on, I kind of nipped it in the bud and I went forward into my business with blinders on. I was so careful of what I was consuming and what I was saying. And I had this kind of naivety, this like innocence where I didn't listen to what anyone else had to say about business. I think it helped, but I didn't have a lot of experience running a business. I was a content creator and I had monetized my platform and it was me building a brand, but not really building an entire business. And I think it in some area helped not knowing all of the things. Like I had seen some statistics around 90% of businesses fail within the first year. And I was like, I'm just going to choose not to believe that. And I decided to put my blinders on because at one point I was just consuming content in from everywhere. Anybody that had something to say about business and launching and coaching and programs and booking clients, I would take it all in. And so I decided to be really intentional about who I was consuming content from and really being able to tap into, look, I deserve 6 figures in my business. And so I'm going to go after it. And I believed that it was already done. And this is coming from a girl that was on food stamps, that was struggling to get food on the table as a single mom, didn't have more than $1,000 in my savings at once, and manifesting in 8 months, surpassing 6 figures in her business. And so I think there's really something important to say about being intentional with what you're consuming, who you're exposing yourself to, the people that you're hanging around, as well as their mindsets. I'm sure you've heard this quote, but they always say that you are the average of the 6, 7 people that you spend time with the most. Your net worth is the average, as well as your mindset, the way that you believe, the things that you believe, the things that you tell yourself. And then therefore, of course, this translates into action and it affects our entire lives. So being able to surround yourself with people who are like-minded and able to support and are serving your highest self, the person that you want to be, that counts as living your life as if, right? And so the thing that I don't enjoy about hustle culture is a lot of it is pushing people to overwork themselves to the point of mental health decline. And a lot of it is not going to be helpful in your business as well, because it isn't about how something is necessarily said, and that's subjective, but for the most time, it's not really just exactly the structure, the way that something is written or posted. It's the energetics behind it. It is your intention that you've set behind it and the energy in which you posted or created this piece of content. And so the more you are able to work on your own personal development, the more you're able to heal your own traumas and work through your own shadow work and heal your chakras and up level your mindset, your personal development, the more you're working on yourself and communicating and loving yourself, setting boundaries, going to therapy, doing all of these things to water yourself and water exactly where you're at is going to be so powerful and is going to directly translate into how successful your business is. Because if you are going into business with the mindset of, I have to do XYZ in order to see ABC in my business, you don't allow yourself that room to experiment. You're constricting the flow of energy. So this is why it's so important in manifestation to detach yourself from the outcome. You know you want something. You know that you're manifesting something into your reality. You want it to actualize, but we never know exactly how it's going to actualize. And I think what prevents some people from manifesting exactly what they want is they think that it can only come from one channel, from this one way, or this one person, or this one strategy, versus being open to it coming from any way possible, right? There's so many possibilities and so many roads to your ultimate success. And the more we try to stay focused in, oh, we need it to look this one way, it needs to come from this one person, it really constricts that energy in which it comes into your reality. You fully need to trust that the universe has your highest good in mind every single time something happens in your life, and that you need to trust you're going to get what you want or something better. So anything that you may have wanted in the past, say your 10-year ago self, probably wanted something that you didn't get, whether it's a relationship or a situation, an opportunity, a job opening, whatever it might be. You might be able to look back and be like, man, I'm so glad that that didn't go the way that I wanted it to go during that time, because the universe had something even better in store for you. And that's such a powerful shift of perspective, because that way you're not constantly sitting in this mode of scarcity and lack and complaining and victim blaming, or this victim mentality, and you're able to go, okay, I didn't get what I wanted, or the universe threw me for a curve, but the universe is constantly rearranging your reality to serve your highest good. So something that might look like a loss, something that might feel like you've failed or you've made a mistake or you didn't get what you want, is actually serving your higher good. But you're not able to see that, because if you were able to see all the amazing things that were coming your way, you wouldn't be able to handle it. You wouldn't have the capacity to understand it, and we may fumble it. So that's why the universe gives us things in the exact time we need it, and we're exposed to teachers at the exact times that we need to learn from them. And that's why it's so important when it comes to business, not just business, but in general in our lives, being able to really release the need or the belief that things need to look a certain way in order for us to be successful, really releasing this perfectionism and thinking that we know it all, because we don't. And the more that we detach ourselves from the how, from that ultimate outcome, the more we are allowing this channel to have energy flow through it, because things might not happen the certain way that you want them to. And the more you leave that open and know that there are infinite ways in how your manifestation will actualize, the more you're going to detach from the outcome and be open to receiving. And the thing you can do is focus on how you're going to feel when you get that thing. So for example, if you're manifesting a soulmate, you can really manifest and focus on how you're going to feel in that relationship. Maybe some qualities that you want the other person to have that are similar to yours, your values, your beliefs, right? Like really visualizing what that's going to feel like, but not being so constricted as to, oh, it needs to be this exact person or it's going to happen at this exact time, because you don't know those details, right? We're not meant to know all of those little details. So what I have to say for business owners that have been exposed to a lot of hustle strategy and hustle mentality is, what can you or what do you not want to embrace in your business or in your life? That is likely the thing that you want to start embracing. And when you do start embracing and celebrating the thing that you don't want to embrace, you will go full force into your business and magnetize the right people. This is also going to be a way that you can if you really lean on your masculine strategy and you naturally take a lot of action, what are some things that you can do to incorporate more of the feminine? So like I mentioned before, it's not just masculine or just feminine that we're trying to achieve. It's a beautiful balance of both. So in my previous episode talking about the 12 laws of the universe, one of them is the law of gender, the law of masculine and feminine. And again, this is, it's non-gender conforming as like male and female. It's just energy and strategy. So the more you can create a masculine foundation and then a feminine flow to it, allowing yourself to tap into your intuition, allowing yourself to take a step back and see what your body is telling you, what feels flowy to you, what feels like you want to step away from a certain kind of strategy, allowing yourself to play and experiment, especially as a business owner, is going to be so beautiful, right? Because I see a lot of coaches, I see a lot of leaders that preach and talk about that talk a lot about hustle mentality. And for me, it's very toxic because there isn't always a one size fits all strategy, right? Just like I mentioned, the way that you are actualizing your manifestation into your reality and that it doesn't happen in one specific way or one specific outcome. It can happen in infinite possibilities. It can manifest through infinite channels. Similarly to how your business model and your revenue goal and what you are working towards in your business might not be the same way that I started my business and how I made six figures or how someone else hit a 5K month, right? There needs to be a release where you're allowing yourself to play and experiment and have that trial and error period in order for you yourself to discover what your business needs and what you want to bring to life. And that can be wildly different than mine or someone else's. That's why it's really important when you're looking for a coach, when you're looking for a mentor, someone to guide you, that they have the result that you want, but also that they are open to your learning strategies and abilities and being able to hold space for you rather than forcing you to follow a certain strategy or fit you into a box. So for me, with my clients, I coach them based on their unique human design, which is their energetic signature, really how they operate, how they make decisions. Some people need to take a little bit more time and wait for the invitation. Some people can make decisions right on the spot by tapping into their sacral authority. Other people really need to kind of play and experiment and take a little bit of time before they make a decision. Some people really need more structure and strategy and organization in the way that they create content and post. And some people, they really just need to tap into whatever they're being called to talk about or whatever download they have from the universe. And so when I'm coaching, I tap into whatever feels good and lights my client up versus this is what you need to follow, this is what you need to do. So if you've been told that or you're being bombarded by these one size fits all strategies or these things that you feel like you have to do or that you should do in your business, I give you permission to give yourself permission right now to release that and to tap into what's possible for you once you're able to get more into flow, be able to play, be able to experiment, and to experience increased satisfaction and pleasure in your business because business gets to be fun, because you are allowed to enjoy yourself, because it doesn't need to look like giving yourself vertigo like me and working 10, 11, 12 hours a day. You went into business so that you can create more freedom in your life, not to become an employee to your own business. So I implore you to discover what you can do in your business to create more of that flow, marry the masculine and the feminine strategies together, release any toxic hustle mentality strategies that you might have picked up on, and also releasing any limiting beliefs that are no longer serving you in this area of your business in order for you to up level and get to that next level. Because I have a feeling that many of you that are listening are just waiting to tap into that next level in your business, to experience that quantum leap. But it's not going to happen if you're still holding on to the beliefs and the strategies and the mentality that is no longer serving you. So identify what that looks like right now to be able to nip it in the bud in order to experience this next level of success and to stop playing small in your business, or to stop following the strategies that worked really well for that one person that one time. But for you, it could look completely different. Give yourself permission to play, to explore, to discover, and to experience that for yourself in your own business. Go and crush it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.